Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Red Star Social at Burnett and Research in Austin, Texas. I am Nick. I'm your host for this live stream we have here on Saturday. And we're jumping into the action. I'm here in the booth with Dustin, who'll be doing some commentary with me. And I'd like to welcome you all back to a fun game of 1-2 No Limit Hold'em. Believe we start off with a cap, but then it goes to match the stack. Let's start kicking off the action and have some fun. Looks like we're starting with a bomb pot, so we'll see a lot of equities. But while we're checking out this action, flop of 7, 9, 10 on one, Ace, Jack, 9 on the other, and we will see a bunch of equities. I just wanted to welcome you all to the Red Star and mention that we have live streams, we have 1-2 games, we spread deuce to 7, a fun crowd, and next Friday, March 16th, will be actually I believe it's March 15th, will be the owner's birthday, Big E. We're having a full day-long special event. All promotions will pay out 2 times, so quads in the hand will pay 400, and royal flushes will pay 200 hours if you flop them. It's going to be a fun time and some great poker, so you guys should come out. There's also a bounty on Eric on Big E. If you felt him during the cash game, it's an extra $50, and during the live stream it'll be a bonus 100. So those bounties are always fun. Looks like we're going to start off some Hold'em action now, finally. Button is on Felix, the White Claw Warrior. If you ever come and play with Felix, he's a great player and a fun guy to hang out with, and he is not shy about sharing the White Claws. So. Looks like we see Reese fold a 4-5. Felix is on the button. He sees a Jack 10, perfectly reasonable range, perfectly reasonable bet to make in the button.
I just play the string so I can play.
So he made 15, we'll take it down. No one in the blinds had anything.
This is what I wish I
Aren't you coming over here, Nick?
I've been saying I like those cards a lot. Hey Ryan.
You know, we just jumped into the stream because we're pretty casual over here. So the button's on Adam.
Yeah, come on.
Playing 6-handed to start. Steve looks down under the gun, or one under the gun, and sees pocket 5s. Decides
That's a problem though,
10.
Your definition of a shitty hand.
Felix, feeling a little saucy, will 3-bet to 25 from the cutoff, 4-6, which is the house hand. He has position on Steve, so that's an advantage for this, the way this will unfold. And the Ace-King deuce board generally favors the 3-better, so I'd be surprised if Felix didn't c-bet here and probably take it down. Steve's not likely to continue with his 5s on an Ace-King board. Sure enough, he throws in the muck. I bet Felix tables this 4-6 so that he can get the oohs and ahs from appreciating onlookers.
Little advertising for the noon game.
Felix, the White Claw Warrior, is starting with a Starbucks. I'm going to guess a latte, but we're going to set a line here. There's some White Claws in the fridge, and I think when he gets up a little bit, he's going to start taking them out. I think we'll set it at 8.5. You guys can play along. I will mark each White Claw that Felix takes out of his satchel.
How many do you have?
Put down in another hand.
18, but I will give some away. So you wanted a drink, I'll give you a drink.
Button's on Andy this time.
I don't know. Knowing nothing about your drinking habits, I'm gonna put it at 7.
Adam is definitely going to find whatever's on his phone more interesting than the 9-3 he has in front of him.
Oh, you haven't started. Okay.
I haven't started, that's why. I'm pacing myself, drinking water, you know. I'm like Kobayashi when he's eating the hot dogs, so he dips in
Andy,
water and stuff.
Spoon Man, apparently, is going to make it $30 with a suited gapper from the button.
Look at this.
They're playing short, so ranges are a lot wider. It's more fun to play sort of 6-handed, 5-handed in a lot of ways because there's a lot more latitude on how many flops you can take, what you can call with. Felix looks down at a Queen 10. He just calls. The flop is ace 4-4, which helps no one. Wouldn't be surprised if Andy put out a little bet representing the ace. Very reasonable play. That's what he does. He makes it $35 to call. Felix just lets go of his hand. He didn't flop the draw that he wanted. Nothing interesting for him.
I just wanted to play one.
Wanted to play a hand?
Yeah. I was trying to take your advice.
Steve, our player, Zag, is in a lovely cowboy hat with some feathers.
In 3 hours.
Always with the interesting hat wear.
Depends on the stream ends, whenever the stream ends. So, I mean, I can't extend the time.
I'm gonna start now. I'll take the over.
And the game's just getting started, so players aren't throwing huge punches yet, throwing out large bluffs for their full stack. They're sort of letting the game unfold, getting a pace, measuring each other out.
You're not allowed to bet. You have too much control over the outcome.
Andy limps from the cutoff with Queen 10. Surprised he didn't raise there.
For $1, I'm gonna kill myself?
Oh, for $1.
I didn't make anything crazy. It's a
Yeah, I'll
challenge.
bet $1.
Felix in the big blind with King Queen.
Take the
So
under.
look at all these limpers.
There we go. It's it.
Oh, it's just straddled
I
Ponzi.
didn't realize it.
No raise. No raise.
Oh my lord.
Ace 10 5 flop.
7.5 right
Adam's
now,
got
Nick.
the lead with his ace 6. Steve's in there with his 10s. Fires up
I
a
think
bet.
it's high.
Felix calls.
Had a long night
Got a
last
gut
night.
shot. Adam just calls with his ace. It's a little weak. He wants to see what happens on the turn.
I'm
Sort
in
of
recovery right now.
avoid a spade, avoid another high card. I'm sure he's thinking with 3 callers in there to keep some gut shots, especially with a small bet like that.
Crease? Are you creasing?
Turns an 8,
Cobra
no help to
Kai?
anyone.
No mercy?
He goes check, check. Adam's probably going to bet, protect against spades. These sort of straight draws. Set about 40. Steve's probably going to believe him. Seems most likely hand Adam's going to have here is an ace. Let's it go. Felix unlikely to call with a gut shot. Hard for him to get paid if he hits. Adam's just going to take down the pot.
Alright, bomb pop, boys.
You got Clem in the box. Fantastic dealer. One of the best big O dealers I've ever seen. Expert at sort of splitting up pots, identifying the highs and lows. He's our master of ceremonies at the table, just like I'm here in the booth. And also the crusher of dreams for some people and the hope of others. So we put all the blame on the dealers, and we really shouldn't. As we look around and see another bomb pot, so everyone's going to get 4 cards and see 2 flops. As we and I mean you and I viewers will sort of just try and make sense of the range of equities we got here. Not so bad with 5 players. When it's full ring, it can get a little confusing. See a flop of 7 Jack Deuce with 2 diamonds, 4 Ace King with 2 hearts. Looks like Reese has the most of it right now with a pair of kings and a pair of jacks. Pretty dry. No one has any big draws or big hands out there. So this bomb pot's not going to get sky high. As it checks around on the river, they're just going to table their hands. Looks like Reese has got the check mark there. Andy's on the same board with Jack 9. They're gonna quarter.
Jack King is it? Win it.
No one had an ace. No one had a 7. No one made a straight.
Officially the banker.
Just called in.
Dude, I'm just telling you right now. We just broke the internet on that hand, dude.
Pretty boring bomb pot as far as they go. Always more fun when someone's in there with a set fighting against a flush and a straight draw. see how they
Small, big.
managed to extract value.
Hey,
This
I'm gonna
was
spice this up, guys.
this was more just
Okay.
This is a
no one
free
had it.
giveaway.
Okay.
Free giveaway.
Happens every now and then.
If you win a hand, because my signature hand is Queen Jack,
Buttons on Steve,
I
and
will
we'll play
give
another
you
hand
a
of
fucking free lottery card, which I have in my backpack.
Okay.
If
If
you
we
win it.
move Queen Jack. Okay. Any suit, it doesn't have to be suited, just Queen Jack.
Queen Jack, you beat me. I got a lottery card.
Like a scratchy.
No. You win the hand. Period. I don't have to be in the hand.
Right.
If you beat me in the hand, you get an
He looks down and
additional
sees sixes under the gun,
free. It's okay. You can't
which when
ask.
he's so short-handed, I think he might raise. Could limp, but really, when you limp, you're sort of capping yourself a little bit.
It's a scratchy, right? It's a scratchy.
Little 6 3x raise of the blind is
I'm trying to spice this up.
pot builder. Gets out some
See, Felix, man.
weaker hands in between.
Don't worry.
Looks like Felix selects to make it a 3-bet from the small blind, king queen. Andy will call.
I'm one of 5 Sox fans from Chicago. Everyone else is Cubs fans.
Andy has position on him, so that's an advantage, but not when a flop of Queen 9 Jack comes, sort of smashing
No?
Felix and 3 overcards for Andy, so he's gonna
Okay.
let the 6s go.
I wish I could. I want those scratchies.
All right. I'm falling behind. I think I'm falling behind the pace here, so I need to speed up.
Hope you all are enjoying your Saturday, spending some time with us. If you enjoy the game of poker, you guys should come out to the Red Star. We're
I already know
in the
my
heart of
layout.
Austin, one of the most easy to find clubs, just because it's in the middle of the city. Don't have to go out to Round Rock. Don't have to go all the way south of the river. Research in Burnett. We have table games going almost 24 hours a day,
A well and maybe
and
water.
lots of great action. As it folds down to Felix, who isn't going to let them isn't going to limp and isn't going to let the blinds chop, raises it to $10 with his Jack 8. Andy looks down, sees a 6-7 of clubs, two lovely suited connectors, always fun to play. Take flops very well. He calls and just smashes the heck out of the flop. Flops a pair and an open-ended straight flush draw. Felix flops a pair of 8s, so they both get a piece of it. Andy elects to check raise. Felix calls. Pot's still pretty small, and Andy's going to fire another barrel. He's going to barrel 3 times with this hand because there's so much equity. When you look and see at the amount of outs that he has, it's a very, very strong hand when you flop a pair and open-ended straight flush draw. Felix folds top pair to that aggression. He doesn't have much of a redraw. The best he can sort of do is trip up, make 2 pair. Andy could have easily flopped a straight or a set.
Arlington. So what made you move from Arlington down here?
I went to
And even though he doesn't improve, Felix lets it
for
go
college and then just never left.
because he can't stand that
I've been
amount
here
of heat
since 97.
when Andy flops that well.
27 years. Yeah. All my friends after college moved like way out of state.
So what year you graduated from UC?
Pair and a flush draw and a straight draw is going to be a favorite to almost any one pair. It will be a favorite to any one pair hand. It's going to be even money against a set, and that's why people are so aggressive with them. You're often going to win by the end.
Oh, is he really? Oh, nice. What's he studying?
Economics. Who's in the military?
And if you have
So-
any
so
fold
got out
equity
here,
at all,
you
putting
got
pressure
out,
is
and now he's
to your
got a
advantage.
Tanico, you're out
Looks
there.
like Steve made it $10 with King Jack.
Economics is a great.
Felix called with a complete mystery hand. Adam has a 5-6 off.
Not just career, just like.
There's a flop of Ace 4 Jack. So second pair for Steve. He gets checked to Adam, who checks behind. Turn is a deuce of clubs. Steve's probably going to bet a jack here, seeing no one has an ace. Everyone folds. Takes a small pot.
Well, vodka, well, whiskey.
So far, Clem's keeping people out of trouble. Not a lot of big hands against other big hands. Mostly one person flopping a pair, one person flopping a draw and missing, but they're playing cautiously.
Hey, Andrew. So these are the final.
Oh,
Table
You have
fills
a
out, and
chance
they sort
to
of get a
win.
feel for
I thought we were talking
everyone's
about the
rhythm
little
is
bitty
today.
$1.
Oh, it's $100,000.
Yeah.
$100,000 gift card thing, man.
You just upped the fucking the prize pool there.
I see Felix has our first White Claw out of the bag.
100K.
I could also lose all my
So
chips.
on his way to 8.5, starts at 1, and that may mean an increase in the action. One can only hope.
Come on, Reese. Get in there, Reese. Don't be cheeky.
As Felix is not afraid to mix it up, get in there. He trusts his reads and is willing to back them to the hilt. Looks down, looks like Steve looks down at a pair of 9s. Zag makes it 8 to call. We see a flop of 9, 4, 6. Felix flops middle pair. Top set for Steve. He goes check, check. Steve trapping, hoping that he can get some value. Steve bets 25 when the ace comes. Bad card for Felix. He's not going to want to pay him off there, but he calls, hoping to spike 2 pair. On the river, he doesn't improve. Steve hopes to get some value for his 9s, but there's none to be had. They move on to the next one. But Felix was looking for some weakness there. Called with the 6, hoping to get a check back, maybe take the pot away. I think Steve checked the flop or checked the river. He might have been able to induce bluff from Felix there. But I'm pretty sure Felix was
Maybe if
looking
like
for an
you
opportunity.
stacked me with something and never showed it, then I'd want to.
Hey, look at you.
Tulip sits down to join the table.
How much you buying there for first? That's bomb pot.
Cameras can't see you over there.
Oh.
Oh yeah, sure.
Players say hello, and we're starting to fill the ring out.
That's cool.
Not everyone wants to get up and get their poker on early. A lot of poker players are night owls. Would not be surprised to see the table fill out the next few minutes or so. Look down and see another bomb pot.
More than come in this game. Just a little bit more.
Come on. Keep them coming. We don't got all day.
I bet when one or two players start coming to the table, we'll play some fun games, maybe a knit game or two. I've seen some players asking about deuce to 7, which is always a fun game where you get paid a bounty for showing down deuce to 7 in the hand.
2 and maybe
7 in the hand.
Oh, it's for the whole thing.
We'll pause here while
Definitely not 230. It's like 224. I need a nickel.
Tulip stacks chips.
224. That's what he says.
Okay.
No?
No, 226.
Oh, 26.
They're waiting for his ante.
I need a
Yep.
nickel from
Clem says, fork it over, man.
That's number 1.
I am the table enforcer, and I'm not going to let this pot be short. As Felix flicks a white call, noting he is empty, and going back 2 boxes for white claw number 2. You see a flop of deuce, ace, jack,
Oh, these are
rainbow, and 9-8 king.
I love these.
Two
Everybody
spades.
rescan.
So we're supposed to put our
Rescan.
You see that Steve flopped top 2 on the top board.
Okay, we're good. Action's on you, Chris.
Rather than they get bigger.
Checks.
Check.
Fold.
Go ahead.
Check.
Oh, well. And Reese has a set of aces on the bottom with backdoor hearts.
About Ray.
So,
He left the 1-2 game to go play the high PLO game.
pretty strong
Last night,
And won a bunch of
hand
money.
for
won a
Reese.
bunch of money, and he came in short stack, by the way. How much?
15.
Can I put more on?
Felix is in there with a gut shot on both boards.
Reese, you got, I think you
Jack
got a
or
monster.
queen could bring him the nuts, and that's what he's hoping to hit. You see a turn of 6 and a 5, putting spades out on the top board. No one has spades, and he's still best with his top 2 pair.
Victor.
And Reese still best with a set, which is the current nuts on bottom.
And by the way, Queen Jack does not count in PLO. Let me
That's
clarify
Since there are
that.
no spades,
Queen
Reese
Jack
bets
does not count on
his set of
PLO.
aces,
But wait,
and
what if you have
Andy folds
in
his
your hand
pairs
Queen Jack, Queen Jack?
because Board straightened, board
That should be
flushed.
worth 5 lottos.
He doesn't have anything on the other board.
If you get,
And,
if you get queen, you get,
Queen
it's
jack
gotta be,
and
it's
jack
gotta be,
exchange
it's gotta be the
sometimes
winning
in
hand.
bomb
Right.
pots.
On
Gotta
both
win.
boards. On both boards.
On both boards. You get 2 cards.
So we're on White Claw number 2. I don't
I have a
know
couple
what
of,
the
White
flavor is. I'm gonna guess grapefruit. Looks like from the pink top, but
Not,
I'm gonna go after this.
hey, Andrew.
Chris, gotta put your phone
It's not
up.
my first stream.
Oh God, I can tell.
question is, how does it flavor the
Stream
play?
deck.
Okay, I could actually, so this is why I did this, is I didn't want it to affect the line.
Oh, that's the guess.
I brought, yeah,
No, I don't need one.
We have an over-under wager on how many he drinks.
but yeah, but it's only 7.5, so I gotta drink 8. 7 or 7.5?
I put it at 7.5. We've got the under apparently.
Why do you have to put the
Sits
hook
down
on
to
it?
Jack
Against the
2.
guy who has
Gonna go in the muck. Adam's up on the table. His hand gets mucked.
So you took the under. No, because if you took
Andy
the over,
gets
I
a
would, I would
queen
hang.
8, which is completely reasonable to raise against blinds and the
I got 2
button.
under bets. 2 under bets.
Queen high is often the favorite against, or is a favorite against 2 blind hands.
We sweet talked him
He makes it 7. Reese calls with his connectors. Tulip calls with his suited ace. You see a flop, which is 4, 5, 9. Reese flops top
So
pair.
who's Nick and who?
I don't know.
Tulip's got some runner draws. Andy's got some hopes and
He's
dreams.
like Vince Scully, he just does
Check
the
it over to Reese.
broadcast
He's
by
going to bet
himself.
15.
I guess so. I mean,
That's talent, dude, right?
Dustin will chime in too.
Probably just take it down.
No, you have to have a color man up there, no, you know what I'm saying? Someone's gonna give you some back and forth. Talent.
I'm just
I also got action
Sometimes
on
it takes a little while for the action to heat up. Players don't want to put their stacks at risk. There haven't been that many big hands to wager whole stacks with. And Andy flopped an open and straight flush draw once. That's always exciting, but no one was in there with a hand to call.
It'll be half hours.
We'll find out when you get
We all know,
why he's a VIP.
given enough time,
Find out when he's gonna have a
It's poker. It'll
Phil
happen.
Helmuth-esque entrance, right?
there's always a little pressure, a little ambient energy in there because things can turn on a dime in this game.
Right.
So Reese looks down to an ace jack, raises it up, 12th call. Felix sees an 8-9. He's gonna play, and Adam is in there with the king 10 of clubs. Whole bunch of possibility as they go 3-way to a flop. Of ace jack 5, all monotone, all spades. Reese flops top 2 pair. Adam's got a gut shot. Felix has 2 cards. As Reese turns the absolute nuts, ace is full. He's going to probably check or make a very, very small bet here, hoping to either get raised if he makes a small bet, $15, or just get a call from any high spade. But no one has anything. It's always disappointing when you have aces
I
full
think we
and you
have the
can't
Tech,
pay it
Tech
off.
Bailey game.
Because you're so strong. You don't make aces full that often.
Number 1.
The problem is when you have aces full, you have the deck crippled. You need a flush in there.
The other number. But I didn't on that one.
You got ace jack? You son of a gun. I knew you were up to what, I knew you were up to one of your tricks, man.
5 is loud.
As we go to
Yeah,
another
yeah,
hand.
yeah. Let's catch up. And then you're trying to catch up.
It's a beautiful day here in Austin. It's a shame we don't have skylights in poker rooms. In general, they're well oxygenated, completely enclosed environments. You know, like the casinos. They don't want us knowing how bright and sunny it is outside, but it's just as fun inside. Things we do at the poker table we can't do at the park. So
Heads up.
check.
look down. Tulip has a 5-6 and raised it, and Andy called. Looks like the small blind. It's interesting that Andy didn't 3-bet there. No one flops anything, so it gets checked to the turn. Tulip checks again. Difficult to not think his ace high is best here. Goes check. Tulip may take a shot here. This is a situation where ace high makes an interesting call. Andy lays it down. Tulip going check, check on the flop and turn. Indicates a lot of weakness. The board went running deuces, which has absolutely no connection to anything on the flop.
So how
If I were Andy there,
streams on?
that's a spot where I would call with ace high.
Once a month-ish.
Give you kind of an angle little avenue here. There you go.
He's trying to bet a late position raise that hand, which means it could be any two cards. And he's going to bet a pair. So sometimes it makes a little sense. Down. Tulip raised to 15 with ace 5 of hearts. Felix on the button. Looks down to ace queen. Makes it $40. Tulip didn't raise 15 to fold 25. He's going to call and see if he can flop well. He knows he might be dominated. That's why he's sad. But, calls. Flop comes jack 3-6. Felix is in there with the queen of diamonds. Hammer lock on this hand. Tulip checks. So bet out. His ace high might be good. He knows he has a high diamond to improve. Tulip is drawing dead. It's a sad flop. It's a sad flop. We love our suited aces, poker players. We want to flop flush draws. We want to flop nut flushes. We want to flop straight flushes. And the board comes monotone in a different suit. It's an awful feeling. Especially when there's action. We know it could have been our suit that flopped.
I don't know if I got you. I forgot. I don't know if I got you. So I'll get you again. If I forget, man, that's what I always do.
Hello from the future. We got a Zag with 6-4 Red Star Nuts, and we are about to play a nice sized pot soon, in about 2 hands. So stay tuned. Thank you for coming in and watching us.
Thank you, Dustin, for letting us know that we're about to see the fireworks that we've sort of been waiting for. But we do look down at 4-6 suited, the house hand, and Steve raises. And Felix looks down at 10s, and he's going to make it 30 and a 3-bet. And Andy thinks maybe Felix is 3-betting light and 4-bets to 101, putting Felix in an interesting position with a mid pair. There's a lot of hands that have him beat that are 4-betting here, and any hand that doesn't have him beat should be flipping. But he is actually way ahead of Andy. And he may sense Andy's making a move, or he may just want to not fold the 6th best starting hand in poker. So
ATM's not too far away, so.
we will go to a flop. And Andy is in there with $101 with King 9, and he is scared. I can promise you that. You never like it when you get called. Flop is 8-4-5. It's an overpair for Felix. Andy's only got $79. I don't think. Oh no, he's got what? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. He has a little more than that. He's betting. He's putting Felix all in. Felix has $317 in front of him. He's bet the max. It's a lot of pressure, but Felix has an overpair. Lots of ace king and ace queen might be in Andy's range. So that's a tough spot for Felix. But this is about as favorable a flop as he can imagine, except for one that takes a 10. So he's weighing. Has Andy been stepping out of line? He lays it down. I bet Andy shows just to let Felix know he's here to play. And that sets up a fun dynamic now.
See, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Because now we're starting to play a little bit. And Felix is aware that people are making moves.
My lead and my money.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Felix remembers that. Going in.
I was thinking of putting you on my.
We try not to make it personal, and it's not. But
now you're fucking off of it.
people are always making adjustments.
Dude, I was gonna call. You're probably like, oh my god, don't call.
So you have to adjust your play.
I've never done this.
And the levers go up and down. People win and lose lots of money.
Steve, you got chips coming?
It's fun to watch.
Clem.
You want to bump up?
You know I'm having 75.
We get another player at the table.
That was more respect more than anything.
We got like ace king or something.
I added 75.
Did you want to bump up?
I would love that. I
Hey.
can get credit.
Well, he bet. I raised, you re-raised, so I have to respect him, you know?
That's the only time I'm gonna pull some shit like that. Next time I'll have it. I promise.
We're gonna play a bomb pop.
Guy 4-bet me on the stream, dude. I love it.
So that's what happens when the button and the bomb pop button collide. It's like a solar eclipse, but we get 4 cards.
Touche.
It's
Touche.
southeast.
Nice hand.
Like towards the end here, like
Is it?
Bomb pots are a new addition to Hold'em card rooms. For 20 years, I played completely without him, and now I can't imagine not having bomb pots. They promote so much action, and they're so fun. And people are learning them, whereas a lot of poker has been sort of solved for. A lot of Hold'em poker has been quote-unquote solved for. And that doesn't mean that everyone plays perfect, but bomb pots are a place where everyone is sort of figuring it out still a little bit. So there's lots of fun as we see the wall of cards and the wall of numbers. And a flop of 8 deuce 8 and jack 8 3. And we look to see if anyone has the 8. And it looks like not. Felix has got an overpair and a flush draw on one board.
He has my favorite hand in yellow.
Queen, queen, 4-7.
Any queens.
Any queens, any double suited queen, or any suited queens. Those are fun. Not
Especially
flush
like
draws.
3-bet pots.
Yeah.
A lot of aces and kings are dead, and
How do you feel in those
flop a queen, you
situations?
got top set.
Of course, but how do you feel in those situations where you got a flush draw and a gut shot?
The maniac.
Is it nut gut shot?
I forgot.
Let's say it's a second gut shot.
Poker name,
nut
or
flush draw?
What's your alias?
No, second. It's a non-nut.
Medium.
Medium. I'm saying there's a king of diamonds out there maybe to sort of give you some protection, but like, I could be out there
If everybody's checking me, I'm betting it.
for sure.
Cool, man.
For sure. If you're isolated against aces, if they're not suited, you're in pretty good shape.
Well, it is a song I love. But
Multi-way.
Did you buy Soundgarden?
Yeah, but that's not why I picked it. I picked it because it's the name of one of the hosts of my favorite podcast. It's called Doughboys. Shout out Doughboys.
My favorite Omaha and Hold'em hands are the hands that you shouldn't play. The 7 to 10 suited range. As we see Andy raise it to $6, 3x with ace 8, and Reese has ace queen in the small blind, and 3-bets him to 15. Very standard stuff.
If you beat me with Queen Jack, you get 2 scratch tickets.
And a flop of 4 5 8.
If you get Queen,
So
Jack,
Andy
Jack, and PLO,
outflops Reese here, gets top pair. No way he's folding. Reese fires a continuation bet,
main prize.
$20. Andy calls. See what the turn brings. Board pairs. Imagine Reese checks here. He didn't want to play a big pot, didn't look like, and Andy's probably going to know his 8's good here. He's going to fire a bet out, and Reese is just going to fold.
Like, okay, that's the net game. Let's do something.
Now, when you check the turn, when it's a low flop, and you're 3-betting,
Adam, please
kind
come
of saying I have
for the-
2
for the
big
studio
cards.
audience.
But a check raise can often have a lot of power.
Hey,
So the Squid Game, every time you
Reese decides he doesn't want to tell the story. He's got aces, kings, queens,
say you won 5 pots,
and Andy's going to take it down with his top pair, top kicker.
about whatever the value. Let's say it's $5, you have 5 buttons in front of you, you're getting 25. So when I say 10 buttons in front of them, you gotta give me 50.
you win the hand, you automatically get one. So people are trying to play aggressive. They're putting-
Yeah, you gotta win a hand. Because the last person not to have any buttons in front of them.
Unless there's like 4 to straight.
If you sit there and just run it over,
As the action picks up again.
Yeah, queen, yeah, gotcha.
if you win like 20 hands before the last guy wins the button,
I believe this might be the hand.
This
Starting to
might
pick up
be
a little bit.
the hand.
And then a couple more after that.
Well, I think we're going to have quite a few more. I think they're starting to stretch. There's, little bit of warming up period. Felix limps with the queen 4 suited.
It's the same as the Nick game.
Adam is going to make it 15 with king 8 of hearts.
And the last person not to get any buttons has to pay
Steve
all
sees a nice suited connector, 6-7.
buttons in front of you, whatever the boundary is set at.
He's going to call. Felix going to call, all hoping to flop well.
Hey, Steve, could I have a Topo Chico?
And we get a flop of ace queen 10 with 2 diamonds. Just a pair of queens for Felix right now. Adam was the raiser. He bets 35, representing the ace. Felix folds. It's a little amuse bouche for you. Little tease.
Sorry, clearly that was not the hand.
That was clearly not the hand.
But a good C bet by Adam. to take that
Yeah,
down.
for sure.
Complete board coverage.
Absolutely.
Well, it just wouldn't be a Texas game without someone wearing a cowboy hat. So thank you for taking care of that for us.
not a cowboy.
Oh boy, what is it now? What's the official terminology?
Straddle is on, which I imagine we're going to see more straddles as well. As the players get a little looser.
Captain hat. You always wear a hat.
Do you like that?
That's pretty good.
Well, that's better than Mad Hat.
And he looks down to an ace deuce and a hijack.
He's the hat guy.
Mad hat.
Low jack.
He is the hat guy, what you're telling me.
He's got ace king in the cutoff.
And nice hats. Always like different.
He's the hat guy.
He's going to raise it up to 30.
The old baseball cap.
I'm gonna give him a run
all
for
good
his,
hats.
I'm gonna give you a run for your money as the hat guy. As the hat guy.
Steve is in the small blind, sees king
Yeah,
jack.
but he raised me already, so before you decide to do anything crazy.
Oh, I missed that.
2 Broadway cards. Not suited, but
I had a 3-bet.
attractive.
Oh,
I shall make it.
Reese is in the cutoff, so his range should be a little bit wider for raising. Steve's contemplating a 3-bet. But Reese is a pretty tight player, so I'm not sure if Steve's taking that into account.
Noticing Zag likes to 3-bet out of position quite a bit there.
I mean, I like playing a 3-better fold strategy from the small blind, but I'm very conscious of who the late position raiser is. And Reese is pretty tight
tipped like 75%.
when it
Now
comes
you
to
have a hand?
his large raise
Got your kings
sizings.
up there? Can I say what his hand is?
Reese calls, and Steve knows he might be dominated.
You might not.
You see a flop of 3-5 deuce, 2 clubs. Steve has no club in his hand, but he does have kids in the street, as they say. And he's going to come get those kids. $75. Reese does have a club. Does have 2 big cards. He might be dominating, and he makes a nice call there on the turn. But Steve spikes a jack. And top pair in this situation, Steve's not going to not bet. And Reese has the second nut flush draw, 2 overs. I don't know if he knows if the ace or king, if he thinks the ace or king are both good, but certainly might be. About a 155 is about half the pot, so getting a very attractive price to draw to the second nuts is Reese.
All those chips. Oh my lord.
People just open the shop.
In this situation, I wouldn't be surprised to see Steve checked, because the only thing he can do is induce a bluff. So exactly, Reese only had 100 behind. He's not going to call if he hadn't gotten there. So that was a very good check by Steve, because he has value in the hand, but he can't get it if he bets. If he's beat, he's beat.
I'm laying down the nuts, Drew.
But, a little bit of luck
Oh, you got a 6.
for sure, spiking that jack, but excellent play on the turn and river by Steve to maximize value there.
The old Red Star nut flop.
Reese was in a tough position when that jack turned,
Betting on that flop.
especially with the bet. He was getting such an attractive price, the correct price, but he bricked out.
Rest of the stream. Nice hand.
If both of them had been playing big stack, that's always one of the fun situations to be in, though, because there's a lot more action on the river. Bet sizings will
Right now he's a thief of joy.
put Steve in a difficult choice. It kind of ran into a brick wall because with only $100 behind, there's no leverage there for
I mean, unless
for
you're
Reese to get a fold.
like behind closed doors, you're put outwardly, you're not like a crazy person. So Mad Hatter
But that's a taste of what's to come on this Saturday at the Red Star Club here in Austin, Texas, where we play big pots, have a lot of fun, a lot of promotions. Ladies' night is every Friday and Sunday.
Well, you have to have a high
College
school
night is Tuesday and Sunday, and if you come in with a college ID or if you are a lady who loves poker, you'll get $8 an hour. You bring a friend, you can get 3 hours for them joining the club, and they can get a month membership. So we love to spread the gospel, so to speak, over here, and invite new players to come enjoy the game. We're on several promotions at all time. If you flop a royal flush, you get 100 hours free poker. And if you turn a river one, it's also 50. So just a little discount, but you get extra reward for flopping the royal flush, which is maybe the best feeling in poker. So and get quads in your hand if you're playing Omaha. Get $200. We run promotions for high hands of the day, so all the different ways you can get your gamble on as we see a bunch of junk, really. BB's in there with ace-5. She has the best hand, but not much on this flop for anyone else. Tulip's got bottom pair. Adam's got a queen. Just going to check around to BB, who's got a better ace here. Protect herself against some of those gut shots and flush draws. Fires 10. It's enough for everyone to lay it down.
Oh, I don't remember that. I would make it. You got to talk about something for 8 hours.
You know what I'm saying? But
BB, another fixture of the Austin poker community, has been
Final table of the World Series. I'd probably wear some
playing and
at least one day.
helping run the games for
I don't know. Like, actually, I probably
about as long as I've been in the Austin poker community, which is over 20 years.
really nice tailored suit, one of the fanciest, Vegas suitor.
you know what Adam would wear?
And her husband, Big E, has a birthday next Friday. So you know Big E. If you do, you're lucky. If you don't, come on over. Meet Big E. Been a advocate, been a supporter of the poker community, been running great games for forever. And if you felt him next Friday, you get extra money, which is amazing.
That's a good I know pattern.
Sell it too, huh? Yeah, the whole body's available.
Imagine if I'm at a poker table and you felt me and I give you an extra $100 out of my pocket. It's almost criminal. I feel bad for E, but he enjoys doing it. He's a sick man. As we look down, and Tulip makes it ace-10 from the button, or makes $15 with ace-10 from the button. Gets called by Felix with a mystery hand in the small blind. I think we're going to find out what it is shortly with the old double check. Also, it looks like we have another White Claw from Felix. Putting the number 3. We are halfway to our line of 8.5. Flop of 6, 5, 9. Tulip has the ace of spades. Fires out a C-bet. Felix calls. Turn is an 8, so Tulip now has a draw. You may decide to check, see if you can realize some equity. River's a 6. Felix checks again. Tulip elects to check, see if his ace high is good. Seems unlikely. But looks like Felix might have been on Miss Spades there. Very possible. Sharper-eyed observers than I can probably pick out what those two cards are, but we're going to see which way the pot is shipped. I'm going to guess it's going to Felix. Yeah, he had to.
My hands are not registering now.
All right, there we go. I don't have to know what you have for you to win. Just clown. They ship the pot, whether I know the winner or not. As we see some reload chips coming onto the table. This is a tough game to play short. Playing short in any situation. I'm not a fan of it, but it's not a terrible strategy for goal management perhaps and leveraging up. But this game is going to get deep, and people are going to be firing some big bets, and it's always nice to have some fold equity.
Oh yeah, keep a seat or keep an eye on that seat number 2.
It's going to get hotter.
Well, it's empty right now, but
Yeah. Someone's going to sit down and heat it up.
Raise.
Dustin comes to us periodically with messages from the future, like Conan used to do when it was the year 2000. Continued to do that after the year 2000, though, and some of you who are listening to this were born after the year 2000, which, for people who were born before that, was in the future at some point.
45.
so we got a 3 deuce offsuit, 3 bet by
We
White Claw
do.
Warrior.
We do. Well, he's three White Claws in, so the powers are starting to accumulate is what happens. Looks like Steve's going to call with a suited king 9, try and flop a straight flush. Also knowing that Felix might be 3-betting white. And flops top and bottom pair. Now, this is an interesting hand because Felix should have sets of kings, sets of jacks in his range. But of course, Steve is blocking top set.
Yes.
Possibly sets of 9s too. And Felix is going to rep that. But Steve has a hand. And yeah, he check raises. He doesn't want to see a 10 in case Felix is in there with ace queen or aces. There's lots of cards Steve doesn't want to see. So he pulls the hammer and Felix lets it go. He knows Steve has a good hand. He's check raising.
He probably could afford it to just call one and leave all bluffs in the chamber for Felix.
He could have.
Is that number 2?
But Felix could have had a much more reasonable